Hello everyone and welcome back to Guitars Plus YouTube channel. Today we are lucky enough to have a legitimate Klon Centaur in the building. If you're not familiar, the Klon Centaur is an overdrive in a class of its own. It's a very celebrated circuit that has spawned many copies, often called clones with a K. And it's sort of its own school of overdrive. The Klon is really one of the first transparent overdrives, meaning that it doesn't really color your tone like a tube screamer or a super overdrive. It doesn't add a bunch of mids, and it's really best used as a boost in front of an amp. So you kind of want to set an amp a bit on the edge of breakup, hit the Klon, and send yourself into full-on overdrive. Of course, there are no rules, and we'll go through all the different settings that the Klon has available to us. I'll be playing this American Professional II Telecaster through a lovely Divine noise cable into the Klon and then into the Bad Cat Cub. I'll put the settings on the screen here so you can have a look. That will be my sort of basic tone going in. The Klon will sweep through all the settings using the Klon cam behind me. And yeah, without further ado, let's check this thing out. So here's my sort of bass layer tone that we'll be using today. All right, so let's check out the Klon with all the settings at noon. And here we go. It's pretty cool. All the settings at noon are not exactly how I would run it, but it's pretty incredible out of the gate. Really adds a lot of excitement and life to the tone. Let's try the more quintessential setting, which is to sort of increase the output a bit more and back off the gain and then sort of put the tone knob to taste. And in my case, I'm going to put it a little bit past noon here. So now we're going to be hitting the front end a little bit harder with the increased output, a little bit of brightness, and not so much gain inherently from the pedal. Here's my dry tone one more time. And here comes the Klon. So it preserves a lot of dynamics, especially on that neck pickup. Obviously in the bridge position of the Tele, we're getting full-on kind of overdrive gain going on. And then in the neck, you can still kind of roll it off and play with some dynamics and it will clean up a little bit, which is pretty cool. Let's do the opposite now. Let's crank up the gain, leave the level a little more at unity. See how that sounds. Here's the dry signal. Let's put the tone knob down a bit. So it's pretty rich and creamy. What we'll do now is just sort of set it as a pure boost. Basically, we're going to put the gain at 0 and the level all the way up. We'll kind of leave maybe just past noon a little bit. All right, here's the dry signal. All right, let's boost that signal with the Klon. Here we go. So that really thickened things up, added a lot of excitement to the signal without changing the characteristic of the telly and the kind of the snappy sound of the Bad Cat. Let's switch gears to the Les Paul, see how it works with humbuckers. All right, so we're back in action. I've got the beautiful 1978 Les Paul Artisan here. This one features Lollar Imperial pickups, which is cool. So not stock Gibson, mind you, but a very, very lovely sounding humbucker set here. Very, very classic PAF tones going on. Nothing else has changed. Going to leave the amp settings the same. Here's the unaffected signal. All right, let's put the Klon right in the middle, see how it interacts. Let's dial in a really, really creamy, rich, sort of mid-gain sound. I'm gonna dial the tone knob back, put the level up pretty high, and the gain minimal. Let's see how that sounds. Here's the dry sound on the neck pickup. All right, let's do one final sound with the Les Paul. I'm gonna set the amp pretty dirty. We're gonna stick on the bridge pickup. And then what I'm gonna do is slam the front end with the Klon as basically a boost. I'm gonna put the treble quite high so it adds a bit more clarity. Let's see how that sounds. Here's my bass layer tone. And with the Klon. The front end of the amp is almost fuzzing out at that point, so let's back the level off a little bit. We'll leave the gain where it is, see if we can get a nice sort of amp saturation sound. Thank you so much for checking out this video on the Klon Centaur. It's one of those pedals where until you try the real thing, you don't really know how close or how far off the clones are. I could say it's a pretty awesome pedal. By the time you see this video, it'll be up for sale in our Reverb store, so check out the links below to check that out on Reverb. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot when you guys leave a thumbs up and a comment. And if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe and you can see more videos from us in the future. Take care.